Everyone, Blue Dragon Cody here, and welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Adventures. Last time, we were in a bit of a predicament. We got accused of murder, and we have defended ourselves in it. And when we left off last time, there was an issue going on with a lady known as Giselle Brett. Yeah. So this time we're going to be continuing that story and seeing what we can find. So right now we have our time and date and place. So it is the 22nd of November. 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. Let's do it.
Yo.
Excellent work, Rinosuke. That was superb. Ugh. I was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight before I knew it. Started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom. My powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. But I was thinking by the detective. The evidence is suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside of the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba! Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I want to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence, and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Yeah. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course! But it's not on there. It's not on the camera. It's on my headset. Covering it right now. Okay, sorry about that. Huh? Shoot that gun. That's that. It's over and over. I wasn't expecting outside.
Defender, you can't die. That's for the shop in the restaurant. Got your hand.
Oh, yes, that's... All I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. Fact, yes, those not close to me at that time. I understand.
So you die on the scoundrel.
Hooray.
Boy.
Seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours.
What nonsense. It's a thing she saw.
And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. There's also been the culprit. All very well said. Can you prove it? Absolutely. And I personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? Asked her? Show you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No.
On earth not. Our English gentleman not possess a weapon. Matter.
Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps?
Yeah, what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refinery was concealing a firearm, with facts.
Words once evidence. Well, he wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Ace! Sorry, my dog's bothering me here! I guess you could call this puppy boopers. Grief. Ace, all done. This is my dog, Ace. This is my dog. Alright, guys. This is my dog, Ace. Ugh. Grief. All done. Enough. Enough. Can you please get off the couch here? All done. Jeez. Talk about a puppy bloopers. Just urge her to leave. Today, of course, a certain Stanley refused to admit when the game is up.
Going out.
He's maintained that you got into an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him. And out, totally unbound lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. For all, she's an elegant, refined young Free Britain. Stark contrast to you, dressed in a dull black school uniform. It's like the same as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Oh, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must feel the murder folks are getting from around the room. Too well. You're half dead already. The fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in your testimony doesn't make me feel any better either. First thing to do is press her on any of her statements, even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of the exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. on. Where is it? Come on. Come on. I know it's this one. Okay, got it! Yes! Finally. That's it. Just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke with this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the way he says. Well, that is... it's odd, very odd. I mean, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. That's good. What's it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's... cheers. Cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. It's supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae. What possible have a glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Maybe the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not! Never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only one? Oh, you're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what do you say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying that happened. I panicked and thought I should hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious! Sorry.
There, as I hope for no consequence at all. Please.
Remember that the student just heard this was watching pen before her very eyes. Blame her for concealing her glass or 2 on her stairs disarray.
It's absurd. Well, really?
So do we take it that you are not one who accuses for mischief? What? No, this can't put down to mischief.
I'd like to know. Exactly how the way took the glass from the scene. Let's see. It would seem that she slipped into a small handbag she was carrying. Handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch common by well-to-do women in England.
Huh.
Beautiful lady, that's very gracious. Why she removed the glass from the scene now?
However, the fact remains that this glass is buried on the case. The student's been trying to confuse the call with logical reasoning. Said nothing. More pretentious accusations. Enough time already.
Indeed, the way is offered us as to why she removed this glass. Henceforth, we consider the matter of no bearing on the case. For the defense, are you in agreement? No, really. To pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. The deeper significance there, it's... Of course! The handbag! Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, you're trying to keep up. Already been explained to the court that all English items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. Nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
Why are you insinuating you're foul blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hasanaga! Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No! Order! 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 The meaning of that, Inspector. The meaning of
what, Professor Ghidarocci?
I did not have the one he opened her handbag. You're the contents at the time. These are couple accusations.
Really, work partner. I only have a chance to expose the real one, the mask. Think so, Cosmo? Oh, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. What? As I said, I did not leave his handbag after the shooting. Because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I'll have to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I can forgotten about. This photographic print. Prints of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. You can see it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. I never.
See right there to what's inside.
That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like his are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. Had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruto-san. Order! Inspector Hazanaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. Court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, that's meant that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That rookie slumped over the bed before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. Situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? Sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean sit?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weaker mate wore the strong eight. You're wasting your time. The way to defeat true justice. That you can chew onto your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Kazuma. His dream going to stay in Great Britain was through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
Seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug whittle.
Let's go. Having considered all of this place before me, hereby find you.
Wait, Your Excellency. Yusuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
That's tedious. He thought the trial was over. He keeps us rolling. Let's go to the courtroom.
Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Strong question. The graphic print only shows the handbag that the woman was carrying on the day in question. Problem with this evidence.
You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence made by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Best way to do that is... Yep. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hasanaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print was the significant detail to which you have alluded. That's what I'm talking about. Right here. Look at this. Here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Dear me, I was wondering what new pfeffer you would come out with. Burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? What's that to do with the magnificent lady's handbag?
Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? Case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? No possible way of knowing either.
Incorrect. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. Or as Prosecutor Elchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the trustee to burn. No. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It seems Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean of the university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, Julie. Going anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? You believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging. Hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? We can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to pry the shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? If I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Huh? Right here. That symbol right there. That's what we need. Therefore, I kind of wound up to say, hi! What's this, counsel? Yes, another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are when we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But when the photograph, we may have overlooked at the time, are recorded forevermore. Oh, hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this forward any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore.
What? That? Can't fool me through little bluffs, boy. Your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Why is it in this photograph that explains the reason for this victim's burn?
Easy. Right here. Let's wind up and say, hi! The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. Plate?
Oh, Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. The emblem on this plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape.
This guy, you're genius. You're spot on.
Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
But even if that's the case, they question or not. For was their blood have some other annoying time.
Well, sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie answered that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Serious injury would have caused quite commotion in the restaurant. Agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I haven't missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
Say, look at the picture of the very long ago.
Oh. Though it's not a particularly large burn, well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. The plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade. A burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Well, that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I have not heard anyone scream at all. The head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you detective, not a waiter!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. I just said, anyone who has burnt themselves on a piping hot for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. The Inspector Hasanaga never heard the rest scream, that day or any before it. Right, and the strange thing is, the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. suggesting? Well, the professor had carried away his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day. Yawn, Charles. So, then the rest of us in the restaurant. Myself, especially the old antique dealer. Wes would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Algie?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Do you think it would be true? If we're drunk, we would have a conclusion like this. But I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, except for the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already dead. Dr. Wilson was already Shinderu. Man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot wait for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beef steak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness. Order! Where's my console? Explain this absurd notion at once.
The victim
Killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's what I say. And what other work is down? Facts.
Prosecutor Roshi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon.
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn wound at the restaurant, the whole case was turned upside down. You not grasped that yet? You're right, now. See, the court must hear from this witness again. It's true, as we now believe, dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. So I didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
Your Excellency.
The justice system in our country may in its infancy. But rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help.
Naturally.
If it helps relations between my country and yours.
What?
Miss Brett, you speak Japanese.
Well, of course I do. I'm studying your country after all.
Oh?
Then why through an interpreter until now? Mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. Alright, as a gentlewoman, try to avoid speaking your vulgar tones as possible. Seems the men in this land possess none of the virtues of English gentlemen. See that I shall have to learn myself to communicate all on your own level.
Going on by this.
I see. Yes, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Here we go. Fortunately, no idea when the poor just wrist like that.
When the waiter brought my steak, and I raised our breasts in a toast.
Far as I've heard, the post-mortem report no other possible death besides a gunshot. There's no way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Please, do show me. Of course, this country's in... I wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Judgment will go down supreme history. Thank you. Does it?
I hope that's the last time I have to soil my lips with a unbecoming tongue.
Oh,
Forgive me.
so does anyone. Oh no.
I respect you, lady. Right from your testimony that this song. I will be speaking to your hundred.
What has happened to you today?
Minister of Justice. Oh boy, will soon begin the harshest punishment possible. Hey man. What?
Attention, Miss Brett, with a cross-examination now.
Huh?
I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, put it, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you.
Counsel, this is my final cross-examination in this trial. Be able to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony. I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. There's one particular phrase in there. That I think should be in there. Alright, this one. Serious? What do you mean by that?
The lands of the Great British Empire that restore everything found out crimes and for their examination.
Okay, let's keep once and that's the end of it.
So? Quite right. Business as usual today, just days after the incident. Which means that even if the investigation has made the... Under your name, Detective trying to preserve the crime scene. You understand?
Your voice may be flawed. Sense. I very much doubt that. But still, there's something about what I just said. Moment before, when something didn't right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. Professor, not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. Of witness, we need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean find a way. Some clues would help us find a chink in her armor. Hazuma. What? Okay. Here's one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? I mean, about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Mr. Hasanaga. Detective? Yes. After a little strange in Miss Brett's last statement. Wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so. This time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I don't know what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. There.
There it is again! That reaction is just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually fine, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, they often let their guard down. Right. What? He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? The moment we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person making the current statement. Moving the marker left and right with the arrows, with the PlayStation arrows, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, to pursue them with X. Catch the person just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. You ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand? Take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with the exploitation button, arrow buttons, and focus on the detective. And pursue him with X and see what's on his mind. Here we go. Oh, maybe lost. Excuse me? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. Looks like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
What's the meaning of this? There's a left-wing woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the press over immediately.
Is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand. Makes him a valid witness. Yes, that he is intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes. You have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police powers are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Why, I, Satoru Hasanaga, always strive to make every investigation involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? Tell you what I mean. Evidence wacky on my watch. I'm afraid to take everything I can. It's a crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. What I've done. Crime scene thief. Well, looks like the waves from Mars touched a nerve there. Yeah, this, for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. Yes, it's lost all of its fizz. Have been opened 3 days ago now. It was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. Police force will be among the best in the world. Coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone witness actions. Do understand the sentiment. Go accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Brett. Confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death. Yes, it was that bottle. What was that? To avert her eyes when she answers the judge's question. Well, Consul, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kind of control his fervor. Ahem. French. Sense of water. My friends enough. Couldn't just say that you don't know. I never had. Like in the bottle. Well, it's just plain water now. No, Ryunosuke. Do that. One thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. No, you're right. I don't know what might be inside, do we? These two amaze me, Ryunosuke. I wonder, there be anything in this water? What's the matter? Gone quiet all of a sudden. Might have just worked something out. Interesting possibility. So this can only mean that this is the exact one. So how about we wind up and say hi? This bottle of water? Actually, there's one method, and without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Order! And on that day,
Sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip poison into his drink?
one person who could possibly have done it.
Just now, Brett.
It was you! Better evidence. So, what the fuck is happening now? Just started quite a friendship with the British Empire. Your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty.
This is not a political arena. It's a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman's British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth. If I may. You
should be silent. Of course. Where did that come from?
She just snapped. I've spoken unfairly before. Apologies. Finally, to what are you referring? The police force is inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this which thoroughly, I believe. This bottle, I mean, and whether or not poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten where my gun was already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. So you tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? Well, Inspector, I will test for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. You find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? You sure? The test were made carried out by the chief coroner himself.
Oh.
I'm very grateful to all of you gentlemen. It just isn't hard affair.
What doing?
Sure. Can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think I clarified everything. This the only cause of death. Who by his own admission was holding this weapon. Done for.
Awfully still apologize.
I think this is causing the spread. Oh no.
I'm just describing the mayor's song.
Proceeding, must ask counsel for the defense. Do you have any further knowledge to present the court at this point? Sorry, Miss I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now.
I must be leaving. Please wait. Oh, isn't that? Look at this. I have been dreaming of
Corporate things, Your Excellency. Nakatoba, justice to the defense.
Nakatoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And she carried a small package, or sheet cloth. To be continued again? Well, isn't that something? Well, if that's the case, well, I suppose we're going to end things off here. So, next time on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, we're going to hopefully finish things off in possibly one of the greatest starts in the Great Ace Attorney series ever, and maybe even in the entire Ace Attorney series as a whole. See you guys then.